Think about the modern person's life. From the moment he's born to the moment he dies, modern man finds himself institutionalized. He's born in an institution run by the state, the hospital. The instant he comes into the world, he's grabbed by the medical professionals and weighed and measured and injected. After a day or two, he might get to leave that institution, but guess what? His mother is a strong, independent woman who has to work at a soulless job to make ends meet. Statistically, it's most likely that she's a single mother and doesn't have a husband or committed family to help with the new baby. So the baby has to go to daycare, another institution, for most of the day, surrounded by more professionals. At age 4, he's transferred to yet another institution, grade school, where more professionals make sure he's properly educated. 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week, he's fed the state-mandated curriculum, ensuring that he becomes an obedient citizen, an obedient consumer. He gets older and goes to college, another institution, meant to train him to be a productive citizen who thinks the right thoughts, believes the right beliefs. After graduation, he can look forward to desperately searching for a job to pay back tens of thousands of dollars in student debt. If he can't find a job in his field of study, he can always find menial labor for minimum wage. If he's lucky, he might hit the jackpot, working as a wage slave plugged into the corporate rat race. Every day, he drags himself out of bed, sits behind the computer for 40 hours a week, comes home exhausted, too tired and emotionally burnt out to do anything other than order takeout and watch Netflix. Maybe he gets married, maybe he has 1 or 2 kids, but really, what's the point? They're all locked into their own institutional existence for most waking hours of their atomized lives. So he works like this. He works like this for 40 years, only to retire. Most likely he's divorced by then, his kids have long ago moved on. He has to spend the end of his life alone, maybe in a nursing home, the final institution. So from birth until death, virtually every moment of his life was mediated by a state or corporate institution. Or maybe he will end up living alone, and when he dies in his apartment, no one will really know. He has no family to visit him or care for him, and when he dies, it'll only become apparent a few months later when the growing stench of his rotting corpse wafts into the halls of his apartment building. And then again, a corporation has to be called to dispose of the putrid remains. This sad existence is not unusual. It's in fact the norm. It's the model. It's by design, the logical consequence of a materialist, progressive worldview. After all, real happiness, according to materialists, is not to be found in some promised heaven in an imagined afterlife.